My dear friends, our gospel text is from Mark chapter 9, from verse 2 to 10. The passage is the transfiguration of our blessed Lord on a mountain in the company of Peter, James, and John. The theme is the classroom of silence. Speech is silver, but silence, they say, is golden. There comes a time in our lives where there is need for silence. Silence helps us to be in touch with our inner selves. Jesus oftentimes will leave the crowd and the disciples to be alone. In today's text, Jesus climbs a high mountain with the 3 disciples. By doing this, he enters into the classroom of silence to be alone with God. The concept of the classroom of silence was introduced by the Australian motivational speaker and author, Matthew Kelly. It simply means prayer. He advocates that everyone should be able to enter into the classroom of silence for at least 10 minutes each day. The question is, why is this so important? St. Augustine says, and I quote, "Our hearts are restless until they find rest in God," unquote. As we live in this world, our hearts are indeed restless. We experience restlessness, especially at this time that the world battles with a pandemic. We experience restlessness because of sickness. We experience restlessness because of the death of loved ones. We experience restlessness because of relationship and family problems. We experience restlessness because of occupational issues. We experience restlessness because of spiritual battles. What is that? What is it that makes your heart restless? The truth is that our hearts are indeed restless. In the midst of the restlessness, our only hope is in God. In the midst of the restlessness, our only rest comes from God. This is what Jesus teaches us as he climbs the high mountain with the disciples. Entering into the classroom of silence is our only hope. In the classroom of silence, we experience God. In the classroom of silence, we find rest. In the classroom of silence, we leave behind the noisy world and be in communion with our God. In the classroom of silence, we experience peace. And in the classroom of silence, we are transfigured. During this season of Lent, what practical steps can we take to enter into the classroom of silence? 1. Make a decision. Where there is a will, there is always a way. There is never a better time than this. So let us make a decision that we need this classroom of silence for our own good. I can testify that there is always a difference between days when I enter into the classroom of silence and days that I do not. Days that I do, I have inner peace. Days that I do, I have a more selfless attitude. Days that I do, I have a heightened sense of self-control. And the awareness of the strength over sin is greater. And because of all these, I entreat you listening to me to make that decision to enter into the classroom of silence each day. 2. Set time and place for it. As scripture says, there is time for everything. As we make time to go to work and time to eat, we must also create a time to enter into the classroom of silence. We need to try to set a time and stick to it. Additionally, the place is also important. Jesus went onto the high mountain, and that was his place of the classroom of silence. Where will you choose to be your classroom of silence? Will it be a place in your home, or in the office, or in the church? Choose the place that works for you. 3. Duration and format. Matthew Kelly suggests at least 10 minutes each day in the classroom of silence. I wish to recommend that we can begin with the 10 minutes for the first week, and then increase it to 15 minutes in the second week. As time goes on, we can then do 30 minutes within the classroom of silence. How about the content? What must we do whilst we are there? So praying the rosary is an option. Reading a passage from the scriptures and reflecting or meditating on it is another option. Some would like to use the ARTS format, which is the acronym for adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication. Some also have their devotional prayers. The Catholic Church has blessed us with a variety of them. So let's choose that which resonates with us. My conclusion is this: the transfiguration is possible only through prayer. This is the lesson Jesus taught the disciples when he climbed the high mountain with them. When the Son of God has made time to be alone with God, how about us? As we also make the effort to enter into the classroom of silence, especially in this season of Lent, may we too experience the transfiguration. God bless you.